Hi, I'm Chris James, and you're watching A Healthy Alternative. Today we're going to talk about what you shouldn't be eating in between fasts. All right, guys, so today I decided to change it up a little bit. I get a lot of questions asking me, what should I be eating when I'm not fasting? How should I eat when I break my fast? You know, things of that nature. And today I decided to do the reverse of that and basically talk about what you should not be eating when you're not fasting, in between fasts, or really in general. And I think people, I feel like there's a disconnect, right? Like we talk about fasting to get healthier, and we talk about what we should eat when we're coming off of our fast. But the thing that I think that we're missing is that the way we eat now has put us in the position where we need to be doing all of these things, fasting, changing our diet to get healthy, right? So what we need to be looking at is looking at our diet overall and trying to change our diet overall so that we don't fall back into some of these diseases we're getting rid of. But I think honestly, it's a little bit easier to look at what we should not be eating versus what we should be eating, because there's honestly a lot of options out there for people who want to eat healthy, whether it's alkaline, vegetarian, or vegan. There's a lot of options, and I think it's a little bit easier to talk about what you shouldn't be eating because it's pretty cut and dry, and it will make things very simple. So we're gonna get into this. Number one, meat. All right, there's a lot of false information out there about meat, especially animal protein, which is essentially, that's what a lot of the doctors and nutritionists are telling you, is that you need animal protein. Now, I believe that if you do any amount of research on the topic, you're going to find that that's not as cut and dry as you may think. And then if you do any in-depth research, you'll actually start to find that it's not true at all. I'll put it to you like this. If animal protein is necessary to sustain human life, and not just human life, but a healthy human being, then we just would not have these individuals who are fruitarians, who are vegetarians, who are vegans, who are in strongman competitions, who run triathlons, these athletic people. They just wouldn't exist. They wouldn't be able to sustain their muscle growth, their stamina, their muscle repair. If what we've been taught about protein was true, these people just wouldn't exist. So I would suggest you guys do a lot of research into, the people who do fruitarian diets and some of these other diets where they don't eat meat, and just look at what type of things they're able to accomplish. Also, personally, with me and my brother, we've been doing some experiments, working out in the gym and looking at muscle growth while not taking any supplements, while not eating any meat, no animal protein. And for my brother particularly, because he goes a little bit harder than I do in the gym, and he's been doing it longer, we've seen growths of 10 plus pounds of muscle that he's been able to put on without animal protein. So that is the number one thing that I would say you guys want to get rid of, is the animal protein, just because of so many things. There's antibiotics, there's all sorts of toxins, and of course there's the animal cruelty side of it, which I'm not really going to get too much into because I want this to be more of a health-based, health-oriented discussion. But the meat itself is just not good for you. The second thing that I want to talk about is processed foods. Now, processed foods, it's just that. So if you get your food from the store and it comes in a package, it's had some sort of processing done to it. I tend to eat the raw, I will cook my vegetables and stuff, but I tend to go to the produce section, and I spend the most of my time in the produce section. And I'm gonna link a video to a little shopping experience I did a couple weeks ago, where I showed you guys a little bit what I like to buy and things of that nature. And you can just kind of see, I pretty much stay in the produce section. I did get a little soup from one of the aisles. And I admit that, I don't eat 100% alkaline all the time. I want you guys to understand that. That is, I usually try to eat about 80% alkaline diet. So my fruits and vegetables and things that I cook homemade. I'm doing that about 80% of the time. Sometimes I have a little box soup, but try to stay away from canned anything, frozen anything, and pretty much anything that comes already made, TV dinners, things of that nature. Start cooking more. If you could go to a nice sit-down restaurant that promotes a, raw vegan or even somewhat of an alkaline style dish, that would be ideal too for somebody who's too busy or whatever. And there's some other options, but honestly, you want to start cooking at home. The other major thing that you guys want to take out of your diet is your refined sugars. Now, this should be one of the obvious ones. I learned about sugar long time ago. Pretty much the way that your body reacts to sugar is similar to if you were taking an illegal substance. So, for example, people who shoot up cocaine, do you shoot cocaine or you snort it? I don't know. Whatever you guys do with cocaine, what they found was the brain reacts or is stimulated in a similar manner when you eat sugar. So you're artificially releasing these endorphins and these feel-good chemicals in the brain, and that's one of the reasons why it's easy to get addicted to sugar. Switch your sugar to a natural sugar. Agave is like 5 times sweeter than refined sugar, and it comes from a cactus. It's a nectar from a cactus. Of course, there's coconut sugar, and there's a lot of other options. Date sugar. You don't have to eat the refined sugar. I personally haven't used refined sugar for quite a few years now. Every once in a while I might use it for something here or there if I don't have another option available, but I've stopped purchasing it. So for the most part, it's out of my diet completely. I stopped eating a lot of the candy and things that were made with refined sugar. So that's another quick tip. So that also includes your sodas. Pretty much all of these comments I'm making are gonna also go along with your drinks. So if you're drinking sodas, if you're drinking juices, anything like that, any processed juices, you guys want to get rid of those because they're really bad for your diet. Look up V8 splashes and look at how unhealthy a V8 splash is, and it might change what your perception of it is currently once you look at the ingredients and what it's made with. Now, I've talked about these in other videos, and I just want to touch on it again briefly. Stay away from your GMOs as much as possible. Now, the hybrid fruits and vegetables are a little bit harder. They're a little sneakier. They've been around for a much longer time. The adverse effects aren't as prominent. And honestly, I eat a little bit of both. I try to stay away from the hybrids as much as possible, but every once in a while I do have some hybrid fruits and vegetables. But definitely the GMOs, try to stay away from those as much as possible. The research and the studies done on the GMOs have not been anywhere near what they need to be to prove that the GMOs are safe for human consumption. And I believe personally that over the past probably 30 or 40 years, because of the introduction of the GMO fruits and vegetables, that's where a lot of our issues are coming from. You take rice, for example. When you eat rice, it becomes sugar. Of course, we want to get rid of sugar, so try to find yourself a nice rice replacement. Anything that's really starchy, try to stay away from that. So that's obviously your potatoes, sweet potatoes, things of that nature that we would normally consider good isn't very good for you at all. And this is one of the reasons why when we change our diet and we think we're doing the right thing, we think we're eating healthy, we still end up with all these problems. It's because the truth is enshrouded in so much misinformation and lies. It's really hard to sift through everything, and that's one of the reasons why I made this channel, because when I was trying to get healthy, I kept hitting roadblock after roadblock, whether it was fruits and vegetables, water, or meat. Learning about dairy products, whatever it was, I kept finding out that what I was doing was wrong. So I wanted to make a channel where I could present the information and make it easily digestible for you guys. Okay, so to top things off, stay away from the dairy products as much as possible. Of course, that kind of goes with the animal products. Meat, dairy, cheese, cream, stuff like that. Just look at the process of how they manufacture some of these things. There's some people that are okay with certain parts of the dairy industry, like butter or cheese or whatever. And I try to limit how much I eat that stuff because I know how bad it is for you. Educate yourself on how they treat the animals. And, even if this isn't like a, hey, let's look out for the animals type video, if you look at how they treat the animals, you can see how poorly they treat them. They keep them confined in these stalls. They pump them for the hormones so that they produce this milk so that they can make the cheese, they can make the ice cream, they can make all these products. And you can just kind of get an idea of, wow, that doesn't look very healthy. I saw a video a couple of nights ago where a cow, I guess he had a cyst or something like that had busted. I don't know exactly what's going on, but there was just this pus just spraying from one of the humps in his back, and it was just disgusting. It was just pus, and it was like, white, creamy, green, yellow pus just spewing out. I have no idea what it was. If it was pus, if it was milk, I'm not sure, but I'm sure it wasn't milk. It just looked disgusting. Anyway, I'm gonna keep this one light and short. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you have more questions, make sure to check out that Facebook group and feel free, ask any questions you want, whether it's about fasting, whether it's about food, whether it's about beauty supplies. I have a plethora of knowledge. There's a lot of things that I've researched, so feel free to ask. And if you guys want to know something more about a topic, maybe something that you've been researching, you guys have asked me in the past to make videos, and I've done it. I try to make them either the next week or within that month so that you guys can get that content at your fingertips as soon as possible. If you like this video, make sure to hit the thumbs up. And if you want to see more videos like this, don't forget to subscribe. And as always, the application of knowledge is power, and I will see you guys next time.